Hey there, it's Hardcore Sustainable, and here at Dancing Rabbit Ecovillage, there's always something happening, especially during the season. People are working on projects, and part of my goal in my channel here is to sort of showcase some of the stuff that happens here and that people are doing to implement sustainable systems. And today I'm going to be talking to Rae and Aaron, and I'm in here in this new addition that they built on their house that's going to be a kitchen, but right now they're using it as a little welding studio because they are building a wood gasifier, and their plan is to travel around the country with a truck that they have and do wood gasification to fuel the truck. And they're basically going around the country to do sort of video activism and help out with different causes around the country. But today we're going to do a little interview with them, and they're going to show us this wood gasification system that they've been working on for a little while now. And they're doing a lot of welding. They're putting sort of reclaimed parts and some new parts together to build this thing based on a plan that I'm sure they'll explain. So yeah, what's this contraption you have here?
So this is the most important parts for a Wayne Keith gasifier. This is a design that allows us to run, in our case, a 1995 Dodge Dakota truck on wood scraps. So it basically is a controlled fire in a column, and this is the main components. This is the fire tube where most of the combustion happens, and this is this other barrel to the left here is the container that this whole housing fits down inside here, and this is X's insulation on the side here. And the whole idea is that wood scraps get funneled in through a hopper that sits on the top here, and there is a series of chemical processes that go on with the wood that turns it basically into methane, carbon monoxide, and hydrogen, using 2,000 to 3,000 degrees to break down all of the fuel in wood completely. And so what this is doing is turning wood into those gases that then get cooled very rapidly, filtered, and plumbed right into the engine. So we're effectively allowing a truck to run on both unleaded gasoline whenever we want it, and then as well as wood gas, so wood chips or wood waste.
This is part of the gasifier. It's the exhaust mufflers buried inside of this steel container that we welded together, and then we attached some pipes and couplers onto the ends. So this will go into the gasifier system, and then this will go regularly into like the engine system, like the gasifier, like the mufflers would. This is a condensate tank. So all of the gasification that happens is going to run through the system and pass that hot gas through this tank, and as it condenses the moisture into this tank, the gas continues through the system and leaves behind the water and the tar. So this tank here was 2 tanks about this long, and we cut this one in half and joined it onto this tank and removed all the extra stuff that we don't need, left this tab to be able to attach a brace onto. This is what's going to attach the tank to the bottom of the truck bed. And then we're going to plasma cut this hole out, weld this, and weld these pipes on here. This is going to be to let the tar come out and the water to come out.
So we're doing a road trip. We're using this vehicle mostly because we live here at an eco-village, and we want to reduce as much fuel as we can, and try not to burn fossil fuels. So the truck comes into play, trying to get to different places using as little fossil fuels as possible. And one of the things we do plan on doing is supporting activists who are opposing new fossil fuel facilities. And so this vehicle will be used to get to those groups of people who are opposing those projects. So it seems really morally consistent to be trying not to burn fossil fuels while doing that. So we feel good, and it's just affordable. The downside of burning something like this and using wood for gas in a vehicle is that it is more labor intensive. It requires more service as you're driving. For example, one of the byproducts of gasification is water. So it actually has two different water collection tanks on the truck that we need to basically dump out at regular intervals. For example, of course you need to stop every 100 miles with this particular design, about every 100 miles, and top it off with some more wood from a 5-gallon bucket. So it's not just, fill it up and go. It's definitely a lot more involved. I mean, you have to start a fire in the morning, it takes probably about 5 minutes just to start the thing up under ideal conditions. Get a fire going, make sure it's good, and kind of tending the fire, and then put the lid on, and then you can pretty much drive away. And it takes about 15 or 20 gallons of biomass. So we can put 3 5-gallon buckets of wood chips in that, and that should get us about 100 miles.
Wow.
So there will be, a lot of refueling to do. I think the advantage of something like this is that this is a dual fuel system. So if we ever do run into a problem with the gasification and the fuel system seems fussy using the wood gas, we can always actually, while you're driving, we can switch over to just run on unleaded gas until such time that we can figure out the problem, or in the event that we run out of fuel even, we can just flip it over, which is neat. Which also means it gets around sort of the registration and insurance sort of issues around that too. So like we can, pass the vehicle inspection using unleaded.
Couldn't fit it all in one video, so I'll have more about Rae and Aaron's wood gasification system in the next video. Don't forget to share the video with your friends, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. I'll see you next time.